who do you think has been the biggest losers of free agency?
Well, I think we got to tell you why AJ was late. It's because of the Vegas treatment of marc-andre Fleury. He's been in a funk about all that for about a week now, and he just got over it this morning, apparently. The treatment of their star player, so shabby, and then they replace him with the addition of Laurent Brossoit, a career backup. They added Evgeny Dadonov, who's in decline already, and he may not even make the top 6 here. They paid significant dollars to get him. Edmonton, I have to say, is in this list. Sorry, Jeff, buddy, but re-signing Mike Smith and running it back with Koskinen, are you kidding me? And then they multiply that disaster by signing Cody Ceci for big bucks. That's a massive overpay too. And I said what I said about Hyman. The deal looks good in the short term, but not so much in the long term. Connor McDavid might be looking for an exit strategy before too long. Tampa, on the other hand, they're another loser, in my opinion. They lost their complete third line and Tyler Johnson as well up front, only to add Corey Perry, a bit player. He's going to be hard-pressed to play more than fourth line minutes. And finally, Buffalo Sabres losing Hutton and Ullmark in the nets. I got a call this morning that from the Buffalo management to see if I would like to play goal for them this year. I haven't played goals for years, so that's how desperate they are. And Jack Eichel might be dealt soon, so it's a complete disaster in the Queen City and not looking good there either.
Jeff, do you need to fall on your sword and take your team here?
I mean, look, I agree with what Paul said about the Oilers. There's no doubt. I also think that I don't know what Vegas is doing. I mean, there's some really suspect things going on. Signing Laurent Brossoit, to replace Marc-Andre Fleury. I don't know what's going on there. I'll say this. I think the biggest loser is the Carolina Hurricanes. I do not understand these moves. Trading Alex Nedeljkovic, a Calder Trophy finalist, a guy who carried your team for spurts, a young goalie. I don't understand it. And then also getting rid of Mazurek and bringing in 2 new goalies makes zero sense to me. They brought in Ethan Bear, who is a potentially good replacement or a good young prospect. They also lost some in their bottom 6, though. I just don't really like the move. I mean, this team was really close, and now they're sort of drifting away from some of their homegrown talent. I don't get it. I don't really get what they're doing over there in Carolina. But I think Vegas is right up there as well. We're going to have to see if this Marc-Andre Fleury move leads to something bigger. But for right now, those 2 teams, Carolina and Vegas, I could see taking a step back just because of their moves this year.
All right, AJ, what do you think? Which team's been the biggest loser?
Well, I think you have to look at Buffalo. They've lost all their good players, replaced them so far with bad middling players. As they mentioned, the net minding, they've now got Craig Anderson, 40 years of age, Aaron Dell, career backup, 32 years of age. These are not starting netminders. So they haven't re-signed their good guys. They're probably going to trade away any day now their best player. And then, you've got Jeff Skinner still making $9 million against the cap. The Buffalo Sabres are just a train wreck. And that's the only way to really describe it. I also think unless they go and talk to Chicago and get Marc-Andre Fleury, I think it's been a bad offseason for the Penguins. Look, they lost McCann effectively due to the expansion draft. They lost Brandon Tanev that way as well. And they are trying to replace those guys with some so-so options. I think Brock McGinn could be good, but Evan Rodriguez returning, not a big deal for them. They really haven't done anything, as Jeff said, to address team needs, in my opinion here. Now, if they go and they manage to bring in Fleury, then it's been the best offseason that the Penguins have had in recent years.